And the goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Thanks for having us. This is a very cool show.
Yeah, so through many iterations, and we finally landed on the weirdest one by far.
Yeah, simple of feelings, and boom, you got a sound.
I remember this one time. I'd been writing some songs, and I went out. I'm just going right in on this story. I went out, and so I was.
The story's longer than the song itself. We'll go ahead and play it.
And listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band. Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar. Tonight, we spend time with the ever-clever, queer Americana artist from Philadelphia, Brittany Ann Tranbaugh. Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese.
Hello, and I'm your co-host, David Moore.
And you are listening to
Your Next Favorite Band.
And it's definitely time for today's artist. We've had so many people connected with this person. We were chatting about that before kind of starting the show here. But tonight having Brittany Ann Tranbaugh on the show is a wonderful. I've been looking forward to this one ever since I heard her music.
It's like a social whirlpool that would have brought her to the show somehow.
Yes, there was no way she could say no, unfortunately, for her.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, magic. What can I say?
But super fortunate for the audience. I mean, if you haven't heard her music yet, you're going to love it.
Absolutely.
And we're going to chat about as usual, the whole genre thing, and when we bring her on, because it's one of those ones where people just don't fit a genre, but the industry makes you do it.
They like labels to sell things.
Yes, and to give awards away. There's that too.
Well, yeah, and they keep redefining what those categories are when they feel like it. So
yeah, subcategories upon subcategories, but also
we won 7 Grammys somehow.
That's amazing, and an Emmy.
We're EGOT winners.
Right. Yeah. Not true. In case anybody wants to come after us on that one, but
eventually,
not yet. Let's say not yet. Yeah. That's
yeah. Let's go with the pending.
There's a podcasting award. What's that one called? I forget right now. Anyway, we'll go for that one.
Ear or something.
The Erie. But before we get into that, kind of wanted to just remind people on Sunday, April 21st, we have our No Planet B Jamboree, 2nd annual. How about that?
2nd annual means it's like a tradition at this point in time.
Yeah. What is 2 a coincidence and 3's a pattern? So hold on until next year, but definitely attend this year. But we will be announcing the lineup this week. So little teaser there. Definitely follow on socials. We're out there on Instagram, Twitter, X. I always put a slash there because people, if you just say X, I don't think people still even know what you're talking about. Good job there. Ruining that one. But Twitter, Facebook, and Threads we're now on.
Soon to be on anything else.
No.
Follow us on Friendster,
no,
MySpace.
Because the hard part is, and I can't do this every time, but I do try to put out slightly different content on each platform so that if you happen to be following us on more than one, it's not like a complete and total copy-paste. Especially if we attend a festival or if we even host our own thing, we try and put out there different things on each one. Anyway, just to be a different, kind of, depending on what content you'd like to follow. So anyway, Instagram seems to be the most common one, though. That's the one that seems to have also the most artists. Like sometimes I go to tag people and they're all on Instagram. Some are on Facebook, much less on on Twitter, and then there's even less on Threads just because it's kind of just starting out. But more every day.
More to come.
Yeah, but more details on that is coming. What we know now is Sunday, April the 21st, and we know that it's in the Sun Inn Courtyard. Weather, pending, and if it's weather starts to threaten, we do have a Plan B for the No Planet B, and it's going to be 2:00. So 2:00, Sunday the 21st of April. And seems like we're going to get some good interest from organizations that are environmental, sustainable, all those good words that help make us a
that's the
better
goal,
place.
and to make people think about it.
Yeah. And last year we had the Energy Co-op, which allows you to kind of choose them as your energy provider, and they're 100% renewable resources, and they're kind of going to partner with us again this year. So that's a great thing to kind of consider between now and then, is maybe doing some research. They're going to most likely be there, so you could ask them questions when you're there. And switching over is super easy. So on with the show. So tonight, I mentioned awards before. We do have an award winner tonight.
Yes, very much so.
And we're going to actually share the award-winning song here, because you got to kind of start with that, because it's such a great story. So this here is, and again, we mentioned it before, Americana artist out of Philadelphia, Brittany Ann Tranbaugh, and this is her song "Kiss You," which we will learn more about. And enjoy this, and then David will do some bio, and we'll bring her on.
2, 3, 4. Sixth grade, it was English class where I would barely risk detention. If I could only make you laugh, I thought, what is it about you I don't know, makes me want to run out into the snow. Tell everybody I'm invited to your birthday party, 'cause all the boys wanted to kiss you. All the boys and me too. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Brittany Ann Tranbaugh is a Philadelphia-based songwriter whose queer Americana heartbreaker "Kiss You" won Song of the Year in 2021's John Lennon Songwriting Contest. Tranbaugh has been writing songs and playing shows as a side gig since she was a teenager, but in February 2023, at 31 years old, she finally quit her office job to pursue a full-time career in music. Her newest release is a self-titled EP produced by Grammy winner Tyler Chester, which showcases Tranbaugh in her new era, energetic, self-assured, and surrounded by her beloved musical community, and more commanding as a vocalist and writer than ever before.
So we'll bring this back up, and then we'll bring Brittany on the show.
I was crying in a bathroom stall the day I realized only reason why your smile was engraved upon my mind. I was praying, Jesus, love is hard enough. Why do you have to tack on this extra stuff? Won't you tell me it gets easier from here? 'Cause all the boys wanted to kiss you.
Welcome to the show, Brittany Ann Tranbaugh.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And we're going to let this kind of continue in the background, because we love having a moment where we can chat with you while this is going on. And fun video recording here. This was all done live, and what a great song. And winning awards. Just such a great way to start things off and capture people here to kind of get into the bat vibes.
Thank you. Watching this video is making me want to get bangs again. I'm like, oh man,
but yeah,
should I?
absolutely, absolutely. But it's a killer song, and one that like we talked about here won awards. We'd love to maybe hear a little bit more about that because I mean we'll get it like we tend to go chronologically when we get there, but since this one is on the table right now, it was a 2021 John Lennon Songwriting Contest, and if I understand it right, it was a moment in which where you kind of made the decision to explicitly go with the lyrics of who you truly are, and that's to be applauded and celebrated. Then and you're also now becoming an icon and someone that queer artists can look up to and realize they don't have to necessarily avoid writing about the reality of things. So that's such a great kind of combination there of this great song in and of itself that wins this contest, but also is kind of hopefully breaking through those barriers that need to be broken.
That's so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of entered the contest on a whim, and then I had like forgotten that I entered it, and then a bunch of months later, I got an email like, "Hey, you're a finalist," and I was just like, "What?" And I remember like being unsure which genre to enter in. You can enter in like folk or pop or rock. And I was
Sure.
like, I think it'd be cool if I entered this as a country song. Like, I bet this is going to be very different than all the other country songs in
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
running.
Hmm.
So I think the message stood out. And yeah, so I found out I was a finalist. Then there's like a round where people vote. I made it to the next round, and then I guess the judges just picked my song for the overall prize. And the guy who's in charge of the contest came to one of my shows, and I honestly wasn't thinking much of it because so I connected with some other finalists from the contest,
Mhm.
Rachel Sumner and Sherelle Bryant, because I listened to everybody's songs. I was like,
Sure.
ooh, I really want to like play a show with these people.
Right.
Um, so I invited them to play a show with me at City Winery in July, and then like the guy from the contest was like, "Oh, I'll come and I can just like say something about the contest." Like I was like,
Sure.
"Yeah, that would be awesome." Um, and right before I played, it was, show with my band. Right before I played, he gets on stage and announces that I'm the winner and gives me the big check and everything.
Whoa!
It was so funny
I was
because it
just
was
gonna ask
before
if they had
I
the
played.
yeah.
I have the big check in my basement still. Yeah, it's so I'm like
Did you take
I
that to the bank and be like, "Hey, I gotta cash this"?
I wish. Oh my
That
gosh,
would
it
be
was so fun.
amazing.
When I did go to the bank with the actual check, I was like all nervous because
Of course.
I've I've never been given that sum of money in my life. It was the
Sure.
biggest check I'll probably ever have in my life.
Both
Um,
physically and monetarily.
Yeah.
yeah, so I brought all this like documentation. I was like, what if they like,
Right.
and it was nothing. They were just like, oh, I
Yeah,
was
they
like
see it all the
ready.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was funny when I got awarded the giant check because then I had to play an hour-long set with my band right after I found
Yeah.
out
Thanks
this
a
news.
lot.
So
Like,
it was
make me
just
feel that he couldn't have waited maybe to the end or so, or
it
like
was
maybe
so
the.
funny. So I'm playing the show and I'm just like, what? That's so wild. Like, yeah. And
Not
starting to
distracting at
scheme
all.
in my head. Yeah. But yeah, so I won a bunch of money, which, it was tempting to like there was the thing in my head that was like, you should pay off your student loans or your credit card bill. And I was like, no, I should put this back into my music. Like this is
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
gift. Like this
Actually,
is what this is for.
that's another note. So
So,
what we'll do is we'll tease the audience. We're gonna tell people what you did with that because it's actually a kind of a
oh,
game
cool.
changer. It's a game,
Yeah,
and so we'll get to that in a little bit.
cool.
But yeah, let's roll this back to the beginning because um, like I just the talent you have, you're such a gifted musician and songwriter that this kind of happens to you very early on, where you're a self-taught guitarist, right? Around like 10 years old, you just kind of picked it up because your dad would play, but then you picked
Pretty
it up and taught
much,
yourself.
yeah. My dad would play. He tried to show me some things, but we got like a little frustrated with each other. And I was like, I'm just gonna teach myself. It was like that classic,
Happened
Yeah, yeah.
between parents and
tween
children.
with their dad being like, meh, like,
Right.
but I was very inspired by his playing, and he was really, folk finger style guitar
Sure.
was his thing.
Hmm.
He played a lot of Harry Chapin, John Denver. I remember him like playing me vinyl records of Pete
Sure.
Seeger. So he really
Hmm.
was like the person who introduced me to songwrite like serious songwriters in that way.
Hmm.
And yeah, he had his Yamaha laying around, so I picked that up, and it was a huge guitar, and taught
Right, right,
myself
right.
a little bit. And I really just like started out I just wanted to learn how to play songs that I liked. I always knew that I liked singing when I was a little kid.
Hmm.
And I loved writing too. Like I loved writing stories and poetry and stuff. I tried to do musical theater, but I'm tragically very bad at acting and dancing. So once I found the guitar, I was like, oh, like I could, like, I
Right.
know I love singing.
Hmm.
I know I love to write. Like, I know
Yep.
I'm a very, I know I'm a pretty expressive person.
Sure.
So maybe songwriting's my thing.
Yeah.
And turns out it was,
Yeah. And I
started
was going to
writing
say,
songs when I was in middle school. Yeah.
yeah, and that comes very easy to you, and yeah, and then you even then, if I understand it right, you end up using that to get into the Charter Arts, high school and
Yeah.
up here in the Bethlehem area. So you are able to take that at a very early training stage because actually both my daughters went to that school as well, but for visual
Oh,
arts.
really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
But you're there because it's a great institution. Like it has all these amazing
It
things to
is.
offer, to be an option for a high school kid to start learning at an earlier age, and not just the music in your case or the visual arts, like how to be trained in that and all that kind of stuff, but also the business behind it. At least that's from what I was able to kind of just be amazed with. You were teaching this person to turn it into a career. So
Yeah.
shout out to Charter Arts. I think they do a great job. But why don't you share a little bit about your experience there?
Yeah, I was a vocal major. At the time that I went there between 2005 and 2009.
Hmm.
So I in that era, the vocal program was really focused on choir singing,
Sure. Right,
and
right,
that
right.
was really, really great for me. I think it really trained my ear for harmony,
Hmm.
um, got me comfy singing with other people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It also got me learning some basic music theory that,
Sure.
Hmm.
I've been able to translate into what I do. But I think the main thing was just like like being in community with other creative people
Yeah,
was
that's
so
exactly right.
huge.
Yeah, I mean, not
Yeah,
only the community of people of like-minded, you're surrounded by peers that are chasing the same dreams and faculty who are going to guide you there, but also just a safe space for people who, you know, maybe in the public high school system wouldn't be the most, you know, I don't mean to say it this way, but like this historic, if you're an artist or an artist, or if you're a creative, that isn't as looked upon in the same way as the captain of the football team. I was there myself, so like
definitely. Yeah,
it's one of those things where I was so happy for my kids that they were in this space where they could be their genuine selves and not have to worry about any kind of judgment or any kind of thing. So I thought that was a very cool part of that place as well.
agreed. Yeah, that was huge for me. And that was the first time in my life that I was really around out queer people. And
Hmm.
I sort of knew in middle school that I was queer, but didn't tell anybody about it.
Sure.
And because I didn't know, like I just didn't have role models. And when I started at LVP, I was like, oh,
Right.
life isn't gonna be horrifying, and that was huge.
Yeah,
Like truly,
absolutely.
that was so huge. Like it was,
Hmm.
it was the early 2000s. It
Big
was
time, absolutely. Well, that's
yeah.
why
So
I was commenting on that for you. Is now you're that for someone else. There's some you know,
Aw, that's sweet. Thank you.
12-year-old out there that now listens to your music and doesn't think that they have to hide that or that they can't go become a musician. And that's cool. Like, that's amazing.
I
I just think
appreciate
that's
that.
very, yeah. I mean, I always, I hesitate when I do that opening thing where I have to say a queer Americana artist. It's like, who cares? Like, we shouldn't have to put that in the descriptor, but you still do.
Yeah.
Like, there's still some work to be done, and I know it's important. So, like, I did it, but not feeling great about it. Like, I hope we get to a world where we
No,
don't
I
have to
feel you.
identify that. Yeah,
Yeah, I've gone, like, I've had a lot of conversations with people through the years about like how much do I want to like how much do I want to make a point of me being
correct. Yeah.
queer when
Hmm.
I'm talking
Right.
about my music, when like as a first impression when people are
Hmm.
like coming across my bio or my profile.
Right.
And I thought about it a lot, and when I was a kid, I was seeking out female musicians. I was seeking out queer musicians. Like I
Yep.
was looking for them. I wanted to listen to them.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing is like I think by making it clear that that's my identity, it just automatically like my shows are affirming spaces for queer people,
Absolutely.
because you're not gonna come to my like anybody who
Right.
comes to my shows like knows that that's
Yep.
that's what it is, and
Right.
so
Yeah, I was loving,
um
like, recently you've done a couple shows that it was, like, in the title, like it was a queer country night or something
totally,
like that. Yeah,
yeah, and that's
and
so important to me.
it really is. And it's
Yeah,
important to the community too. Like that again, like like you were just saying, that person now knows that's going to be a safe space, and that's not always the case. That's the reason why you have to still kind of be intentional about that, because we're not yet at the place where you can, who cares one way or the, it's just
for
people are who they
sure.
are. But
Yeah,
no, I think again the clever way you insert it within the lyrics, because it is all universal. So
for
you
sure.
don't,
Yeah,
like, again, go back in history, someone like Elton John singing, you now know, like, but in the time, a lot of people probably
yeah.
were blind to that. But because he was clever with his lyrics to avoid it, you're being clever with it to not avoid it, which I think is great.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, above all, I want to be seen as a serious and thoughtful songwriter.
Sure.
I think that using the label queer like helps me find the right audience and helps keep my shows safe. At the end of the day, like I don't want to be like a queer country novelty act. Like I think that
No, right.
that is like the fear that people have,
Sure.
but I feel that I've been able to like maintain a balance where like, you know, I'm not alienating anybody by using the label. Like, it doesn't feel like I am.
Hmm.
It feels
Hmm.
like it's just making it, just like bringing in the people that I
Sure.
want to reach, like
Right. And I think the
giving
flip
me a
would be,
better access to them. Yeah,
you probably also don't want somebody to just like your music because of that. You want them to like it because it's good music.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
So I
yeah,
totally get all of that. But again, like, point being, it's important to mention that, only because there's still work to be done there. But I saw this, and I love these stories too, because early on you're also finding these moments of where music is just this very beautiful thing that it like makes you just have a certain emotion, or that sense of time stopping and so on. And I saw this one particular story that you had where you were on a mission trip to the Dominican Republic, and you were singing
oh
songs under a
yeah,
tree with a bunch of other kids, and just that you mentioned that as being one of those moments where you were just like in love with the music, like you were just in that.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
was like 15 when I did that trip, and that was like I was just starting to write songs, and you know, that was really, yeah.
yeah, and it
Wow,
just
you must have been digging, because that's an old story. Yeah, that's
but yeah,
cool.
I think it also, I think you said you were singing in Spanish, like there's that universal language of music, like just connecting people through song. And it's just like, that's just
Yeah,
so cool. And I love when there's moments like that, especially if, like, to hear a musician loving those moments. It's just so cool, because like they obviously happen. And
yeah,
perhaps when it's your music, it may won't happen as much. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a writer myself, but like, it was so cool if those moments get captured, and it's you're in this community with other people, and it's just they're all having a shared moment. It's very cool.
Yeah, I felt that like the queer country nights that I help host in
Hmm.
Philly, I definitely feel that way because there's so many people like me who grew up listening to country music and loving country music, and we all saw what happened to the Chicks in what was it, like
Sure.
2002, 2003, and
Yep.
I think at that time I was like, whoa, like maybe country music isn't for me. Like I remember really thinking that, like
Right.
maybe this isn't the scene. Like um
And in
and
some ways, it's probably not. But the thing is, it
it kind of branched out like into
right.
sort of the pop country, bro country, and
Hmm.
Americana,
Right.
which is sad, like, right? Like you want it to be everybody's
Correct.
under one tent and it's diverse, and but yeah, so to be a part of the space of like all these people who love this music so much, and you can come with your whole self
Yep.
to the space and love country music and be queer,
Yeah. Right. Right.
So yeah, when we were all singing like "Cowboy Take Me Away," and that was another little spiritual experience this
That's
past weekend. It was
fantastic.
really sweet. Yeah.
So then in 2010, you do, I guess, release an album called The Good in That, right?
hmm
Yeah. And that music's not available on like streaming services, but what we did grab was on your YouTube channel, you actually have, a video of you playing a couple of those different songs. We grabbed the title track, The Good in That, so that
Oh
again,
yeah,
people
it's
can
gonna be
see
me
kind of
as a
like,
teenager.
right, but it also
Yeah.
just, it blows me away to see just this absolute, just beautiful talent at such a young
Aw.
age that I want to share this with everyone. And the other fun part is it's right in Godfrey Daniels, which everybody who knows that you play there a ton. We use that place as well multiple times in the year. So it's a safe, fun, special place for us as well. So
It's my
here
home.
is
I love it.
here's the Good in That by Brittany Ann Tranbaugh. And you were saying this is how many years ago? Is this
Gosh, I mean, I don't know. But well, it depends. It might have been,
let me see here.
yeah. Does it say on the video? Because
It
it could have
does.
even been like '08 or '09 if it
Let's
was,
see here. This alleges it is a 15 years ago video.
wow. Yeah.
Right? How about
That'd
that?
be '09. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
take a listen. Here is The Good in That. Godfrey Daniels Quill. That's how you know it. Can't fake that one.
You don't know what you do to me. I look around, but it's only you I see. So take your time, 'cause I hate to say this. My heart is insisting to wait till the day you claim it.
I mean, to me, this does seem like somebody who's
Don't blame you for not
wise beyond their like this.
just don't
Oh, thank you.
understand.
Yeah, had a lot of feelings.
It's also probably shot with somebody's like flip cam.
True.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
in the
Yeah.
era.
but the audio is
Yeah, I
great for
think
that,
this is
that
my
time
dad.
frame.
My dad's nice camera.
But yeah, the music here. Do you ever bring any of these back in a show? Any of these earlier tracks?
I do sometimes, particularly when I'm playing hometown gigs, like if I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing Godfrey Daniels. When I do like when I play Music Fest with my band, it's typically a 2 hour long set. So
Sure. Right.
for the homies, I'll bring out the old one or two really old ones, which is
Right.
really sweet that people still know the songs, and because I have so many friends who like had I would burn CDs, and I would like write on them with colored Sharpies, and
Right.
I have friends who still have those, and that's just really cool knowing that people held on to those and still care about those songs and thinking about them. So yeah, I
Yeah.
try to sing them those songs when I can. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Really, really, really cool. So thank you for letting us play that.
Oh
But
yeah, that was like MySpace era, like
right.
that was a whole vibe. Yeah.
And I guess where I wanted to kind of jump to here is um, basically it's this moment of like you continue to rise in notoriety and accolades. And even the Philadelphia-based DJ Gene Shea, who really knows his stuff, he calls you the future of folk music. But at the same point, you moved to Asheville, North Carolina to be part of AmeriCorps, which also is a little connected to some like a mental health break you needed to make. And this is also kind of
Yeah.
important to us too, because we just did a show earlier this month called Listen to the Dissonance, where we brought musicians up to kind of share, you know, stories about their mental health journey and then also the music that came out of it. So, if you don't mind, like that kind of just whatever you're willing to share. You don't have to go into everything, but like there was a moment where you took a break because you needed it in order to be able to kind of find your path.
Yeah, definitely like so I went to Temple I started out as a music therapy major,
Oh, cool.
but and with a jazz voice concentration. And I
Hmm.
was just like, I don't think I was mature enough to handle it. I think, I had come from a folk background and it was just such a different, more competitive kind of community. And I just like, I kind of cracked under that pressure
Right.
and I dropped out of music school and, I still stayed at Temple, but I did an American Studies major because, I
Hmm.
always liked history and stuff. I was like, I need to just get a college degree.
Sure.
I might as well just study what is interesting to me. And then, I was playing shows throughout college, but I was finding it hard to write songs. I was feeling, and then I would just get in these loops where, my creative output wasn't what I thought it should be, and then I would really get down on myself, and then of
Yeah.
course that stifled me even more. And
Yeah,
then
I
it
was
kind of
hearing you.
like,
You shared something about feeling the pressure of if I don't produce music, you know, what are people going to say about me? And like
totally,
that you when you were on the other side of coming to the realization that my family's still going to love me and my friends will still be there, like that's what
for
kind of helped,
sure,
you know, that you didn't need
definitely,
to prove yourself to them or anything like that. Yeah.
definitely. And that took a really long time for that to really set in. I think,
Hmm.
like I part of the reason why I moved to North Carolina to do AmeriCorps was like I just need to like I've spent so much of my life playing music and it's been so a part of my identity and that when I don't feel like I'm doing it, I don't even know who I am and
Hmm.
I'm afraid that people don't value me um or don't care about me if I'm not. It was really like, so I was like I just want to like take the pressure off and like try to find some other stuff I'm good
Sure.
at. So
Yeah.
I worked in a school for a year. I worked in a food bank for a year. I still played some gigs when I was down in Asheville, but it wasn't like the main focus of my life.
Right.
Um, I started writing a few songs again. Um, and then I moved back to Philly. And I
Hmm.
do think that I sort of put the pressure on myself again. Like I was sort of like, okay, I'm back in Philly. It's time to get out there again. And uh, it and I started having panic attacks
Yep.
before shows. Like it was just like, okay, there's some stuff I need to work on.
Sure.
So I took like a long hiatus from music, like 2018 to I was supposed to make another comeback in March 2020, of course.
Right.
Um,
The
but
I don't mean
something
to laugh,
happened.
but
We
that's.
have to go check the
but
calendar.
it's of course, yeah. So
I mean, in
um,
retrospect, that's got to be funny. But in the moment,
it
you were
is
probably like,
funny. It
"Come
is
on!"
really funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, come on, guys. Yeah. But, so taking that time off, go to therapy, really just like talking to friends and family,
Sure.
getting the assurance of like, we don't care if you never write another song in your life. We still
Hmm.
love you. Like, cause I was really hard on myself. I really put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And,
I think for creatives, that is a hard thing because, like you said, it is such an
yeah,
identifier. And then if the creative isn't creating, then you must feel like a failure. Like you must just feel like,
for sure.
you know, everyone's gonna wonder what am I even doing. So yeah, I can totally understand where
Yeah.
real bad downward spiral.
Yeah, and I just, I worked at a nonprofit for a few years, and then I went to paralegal school,
Hmm.
and I was a paralegal for 4 years. Which I mean, honestly, the organizational skills and just like the
Sure.
ability to
Yeah.
just like rattle off emails
Hmm. Yep.
has helped me so much. I think
Yeah.
that I think
And,
it's just made me more well-rounded as a
and I'm sure you
musician
can
and all the
probably can
admin
read
stuff I have to
contracts on
do.
your own and stuff like
I
that.
can,
You can
yeah,
probably
yeah.
bill
So,
people in 6-minute intervals.
But then I guess where you're leading
s-
to here is in 2021, someone you met in Asheville tells you, "Hey,
yes,
they liked your music, and why don't you come to Denver to do to record some of it?"
totally. Yeah, my buddy Jackson, who I met when I was down in Nashville, and then he moved to Colorado, had a home studio,
Hmm.
and he invited me to come out and record because I had a couple years worth of songs that
Sure.
I hadn't recorded, and at this point it had been over 10 years since I released any music.
Hmm.
Um, and just like having somebody believe in me like that, and
Yeah.
also it felt low pressure. It felt like, okay, like this would be fun to take this trip, like just
Sure.
got vaccinated, let's go. Um, and yeah, and we did a week. We recorded 5 songs,
And this
and
this is such a wonderful name. The title of this EP is Quarter Life Crisis Haircut.
yes, yeah, and that really Quarter Life Crisis Haircut is really like I see that as kind of my comeback song because it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of framed like it's really just talking about my own insecurities of being out of music, of you know, of not living up to what people thought I would be.
Sure.
And,
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
framed in this vignette of like seeing an acquaintance on the sidewalk in Philly and they're like, oh, I thought you were doing music. Like, and just,
Sure.
um, and, and that just felt really freeing to sort of like I think it felt really good to like get ahead of like, oh, I bet these are the thoughts that people are having about
Sure.
me. And just to name it and be like, that's
Yes.
fine.
It
Like
becomes a whole lot
I
less
think,
scary when you put it out there and be like, I own
yeah,
you.
and
You don't own me
totally. And
anymore. Yeah.
that was the first song that I really leaned into humor. Um,
Sure.
and it's not a comedy song, but
Sure.
it
No, it's
is a
clever.
it is a
That's why,
witty,
yeah.
clever song, and
Yeah.
that's sort of like kicked off a new era for me as well of like
Sure.
using humor to illuminate truths
And
and
tell the
also like
story. Yeah.
totally. And when you're being funny or witty, like people listen more. Like they're more
It definitely
Hmm.
you've
catches your
got your
ear.
audience. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
catches your
catches your ear.
ear.
I mean, Kiss You has that same sort of thing in the bridge where you use that same sort of humorous, like a
Yes.
twist, if you will, like
Yes.
that is presented in the bridge. I was going to mention that as we went along, but you've set it up,
Thank you.
so I made it easy.
Oh. Yeah, I really think that humor can be a powerful tool. And that it can actually enhance the depth of a song. I
Mhm.
think that when I was younger, I thought for something to be really effective, it had to be so serious and like
Hmm.
so like and I don't feel that way anymore. I lean into humor all the time now,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can use it to disarm people too, and I
Yeah.
think that goes a
Yes.
long way where it suddenly catches people and they're like, wait, oh,
Hmm.
and they're suddenly got a smile from something.
Right.
You're like, see, gotcha.
Oh,
Yes.
And
totally.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
and this brings us to the story we were teasing earlier, where you now become aware after this comes out and has it wins the songwriter award, because that was the album that had "Kiss You" on it. Um,
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
you
and I
become
came
aware of someone who has a connection to Tyler Chester, and because you had
yes.
this you know award, you were like, let's shoot the shot. And then when that comes through, you use the money to basically make that happen. So if you don't mind, maybe.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything so like once I got back from that trip to record the EP, it feels like my musical life really started. Like
Sure.
I came back, I two of my really good friends from college, Joe Plowman and Kevin Broski, we're still in Philly. And Joe is a bass player, Kevin is a guitar player, and we collaborated in college a lot. And I hit them up. I was like, hey guys, like, I think I want to do like some release shows. I would love to hire you to be in my band. We got together and it was wonderful. And then like Joe knew this drummer Adam, who also went to Temple, brought him in, and right away it was really like, okay, this isn't just like me hiring you for some gigs. Like this really feels like this is my band.
Sure.
And so that was huge for me because I had never had a band before. It really inspired me to write. So I wrote a new batch of songs because just like knowing that I had a band to bring them to and
Right.
seeing the way that the arrangements would unfold and all the beautiful ideas that they had and all the harmonies, and it was just like very, very motivating, just to not do it alone, to have collaborators. Yeah, that was huge for me. So started playing a lot of gigs again, won the contest. Joe, he tours with another artist, Carsey Blanton.
Yep.
They've worked with Tyler a lot. He's done their past few albums. So he connected me to Tyler, and I was like, all right, if I win, like I was like, okay, if I win the thing, like we're gonna use the money to fly out to LA and record with
Nice.
Tyler Chester.
Very cool.
And I was like, if I don't win the thing, maybe I'll do a crowdfunding campaign or something. But I was
Sure.
really like not looking forward to doing a crowdfunding campaign. So
right.
so that was very cool, you know. That was just like one of those weird, delightful surprises. in
Yeah, but
life.
that's also like, manifesting that, wish casting that out, the universe.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really fun stuff.
Yeah,
and
it was
clearly,
wild.
Yeah, and that comes out as a self-titled kind of album, right? That's
Yeah,
Brittany Ann
yeah. So
Tranbaugh.
and I was able to take the whole band out, and you know, yeah, it just felt really good to like use, because that money was such a gift, and it felt really good to use it to
reinvest it back into
to
yourself.
reinvest,
Yeah.
to pay, pay collaborators and make
Right.
something that we felt really proud of.
And also, that's going to be an amazing, like, I don't mean to use a corporate term, but like a team building, like that must bring you
Oh
like
my God,
much
yeah.
tighter together because you're traveling together, you're eating together, you're getting all
Huge.
these, experiences. So that's very, very cool. And that album has two tracks in particular I wanted to mention. Can't Wait, No Rush, which is another kind of clever, witty, even like just that playful, cheeky, like early relationship vibes kind of thing. And I think
Yes,
that one's
yeah.
super fun because it's the whole, I can't wait to see you, but I don't want to make you feel weird about that. So
Yep.
we're going to play that one. We always play a track after the credits. So we're going to play that one at the end. So if everybody, if you know that song, you'll love it. And if you don't, stay tuned for that because it's a great song. And then the other one I wanted to touch on is you have a song called Pennsylvania.
hmm
And it's on that one. And it's a, like it's an emotional one. I gotta think. Like it seems to have a lot behind it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't know if
that
you want
one
to share some of the story about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that one took me a long time to write. I started writing it like in 2016 when I was moving, home from Asheville.
Sure.
And it really started as like a political thing that, like a very overtly political song where I wanted to talk about like moving back to PA, seeing all the Trump signs in the neighborhood that I grew up in, and just being like, whoa, I had no idea that it was this.
Right.
Wow. Like, because I'm from Northampton County. It's like one of the counties that
the big
the
swing
world
ones.
had its eye on, the
Yeah.
Obama Trump
Right.
county, so so I was thinking about that a lot, and I wrote a little bit of it, but I felt really stuck. I felt like I wasn't hitting what I wanted to say in an eloquent way. Like it just wasn't landing. So I kind of shelved it. And then like during the pandemic, I had a lot of conversations with friends who moved away from Pennsylvania, and then like, economic forces kind of moved them back to PA. Like a lot of friends who talked to me, they moved to like some hip city, and then they wanted to have kids. They wanted to be back near their family.
Yep.
They couldn't afford a house there, they couldn't afford rent anymore. So I was really thinking about, my own experience of moving back to PA in 2016, but I was also thinking about like friends who had moved back more recently and like the complicated feelings they have about like,
Yeah.
oh man, am I like, because I had friends say things to me like, I feel embarrassed that I'm moving back, like,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, it's not like
No, they
I think
shouldn't.
it's beautiful to move back, and like
Mm-hmm.
I think I love where we're from, and I think I am so grateful for everybody who comes back and like makes it
Mm-hmm.
more of a place where they want to be and
Yep.
raise kids and like be in community. So the song ended up having, I think, just a broader theme.
Sure.
Like I didn't want it to just be political. I wanted it to also be for those people in my
Yeah, yeah.
life,
It is like it feels like a love letter to what it could be, but it just isn't quite
Yes.
what you thought growing up versus what it became in reality was just not the same thing. And that's kind of like almost like this reminiscent
Yeah.
and not exactly fulfilling experience.
Yes, that's well
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful song, another one that people should definitely take a listen to, as with the
Thank
whole
you.
catalog. But that self-titled album comes out, and again, just nothing but great reception from listeners, and it continues your kind of arc, and then you're now a full-time musician, right? Like it has led you to be able to kind of focus on this, which comes
Yeah.
with again that the fear, but also the excitement of around that. But congratulations on that. That's wonderful.
Thank you. It's actually gonna be a year on Friday that I've been full
Wow.
time.
So this is the
Yeah.
anniversary show.
Yeah, this is kind of the anniversary show. And yeah, I've been, naturally just doing a lot of reflecting about
Hmm.
everything I've learned, and just like I made it. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Like
you definitely
just like,
right.
whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and it's been a little tight, I'm not gonna
Of
lie. It's
course,
been a
of
little I've
course.
had some moments where I'm like, oh, like um but yeah, I made it, and I've got another big year coming up. I'm gonna be touring a lot.
Nice.
Really, really all spring and summer I'll be on the road.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
I'm
We'll
looking
talk
forward
about
to
that in
that.
a second
Yeah.
because I understand you have some new music. One just got released and
Yes.
one's about to be released, and you're going to play both of them for us today, if I understand right.
Yes. Yes, I
Awesome.
would love to.
Well, I will take us off screen. You can have center stage, and then if you want, just kind of intro the songs and play them, and we will just bask in the glory of Brittany Ann Tranbaugh.
Sweet. So this first one I'm gonna play is called For Caroline. And I wrote this for my niece, who's 4 years old. She's the light of my life. My friend Carsey Blanton helped me with the lyrics on this one. And I like to describe this as an existential lullaby. It's a strange time to be a human being, strange time to be alive. I was just about to stop believing that our planet can survive. Now I can see the world keep turning when I look into your eyes, Caroline. As you're growing up, one thing to be sure of, you are always gonna be loved. I know you're gonna see some transformations, even prophets won't foretell. Revolutions and the fall of nations, all the joy and fear inside yourself. Just remember when your heart starts breaking and you want to run and hide, Caroline. As you're growing up,
one thing to be sure of. You are always gonna be loved. Ooh, 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 ooh. Caroline, there's hardly anything that we can say with certainty. And still people keep on raising babies, making music, planting seeds. This bold hope that makes the world keep turning. I can feel it start to shine. Caroline, as you're growing up, one thing to be sure of. You are always gonna be loved. You are always gonna be loved. Thank you guys.
Absolutely, thank you. And then the other one you had mentioned is not yet released, so we'll go right into
Correct.
that one. And
Yeah.
world intergalactic premiere from Brittany.
Hey, this song is called Bushwick, this little short story song. Meeting up with my ex-lover on a sidewalk in Bushwick in the dead of the winter, concerningly warm, miraculously. We have pinned down an hour without an appointment or a show to perform. You regretfully say you've no new revelations about the week in October. Your devotion got sour. Said I figured that I came with no expectations. I miss you anyway. I got an hour. Crazy and loud starts to play as we're crying. I say the radio is great comedic timing. And oh no, I did it. I made you start smiling, and I start to feel it again. Will I find this location a little distracting? Someone digs through the garbage can. Just to our right, to our left, trendy college kids all reenacting the wildest moments of the party last night. Crazy and loud starts to play as we're crying. I say the radio is great comedic timing. And oh no, I did it. I made you start smiling, and I start to feel it again. Parting ways with my ex-lover on a sidewalk in Bushwick. You put on your headphones and I watch you go. Unfortunately, I confirmed I still love you. Can't do much about it, but at least now I know.
Caught us by surprise.
Thank you.
Oh, I was just
yeah,
lost
it's a
in
little
this.
abrupt.
No, no, I was
abrupt
lost in
ending.
it. It's a beautiful one. It's what, like you said, what a stunning
you.
story that is. Yes, thank you so much. What a treat for us to be able to share brand new music and not even yet released music.
It's been
Always
a
a
treat for me
favorite.
too. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get to what can we promote.
Oh gosh. Well, I
We
have
have
the
the
song
tour
that
coming up.
the tour, yeah.
So
The song that I just played, I'm putting out, I think, oh gosh, I think it's March 8th, whatever that Friday is. And then so I'm gonna
The
be
8th,
in
yep, the 8th.
Nash.
You've got the right.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna bring up your site
Um,
while you're chatting.
oh cool. I think the day that this podcast comes out, I'm playing in Nashville that night at Jane's Hideaway
Yes,
on
let's
the
take a look.
27th.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm playing, yeah, gonna be in Nashville. Then
DC, Baltimore, Brooklyn, Arden, Philly
yep,
again.
all over the place.
Nice.
Then I'm going on a Northeast tour. Then I'm
There's a
going
page 2.
on
Look at how
a
great you are.
Midwest. Yeah, I'm going to South Carolina. Then
Back
I
to the
do the
top here.
Midwest. Yeah, then I do the West
Chicago. I love
Coast.
Chicago.
I'm so excited to go back to Chicago. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I'm still adding a lot of dates on these tours as well. So,
So they should follow you on social media for any of those announcements.
definitely. Yeah,
And I
I'm
love this
at
too. Music
B
Fest not yet
underscore.
announced, but
Yes.
the artists are allowed to. So this is great.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
because
the exciting part.
that's
Is
the big hometown show. It's like
yeah,
people wanna put it on their calendars. So
yes,
yeah,
get there.
that'll be fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then let's see, what else can we promote? Merch. We always love slinging some merch.
Oh yeah, I got shirts and tote bags and CDs. Oh, another thing I definitely want to promote is my Patreon because that
Oh yeah.
is like
Yep.
the
Yep. Yep.
most sustainable way
Mhm.
that you can support me. That really that really my Patreon has been huge for me this past year and
Absolutely.
just like keeping me afloat financially. And I
I'm
love
sure.
connecting with people on the Patreon. It's really fun to share the special little sneak peeks and, things that nobody else gets to hear. So, yeah.
Yeah,
This
there's
is
all sorts of
Skunk
fun things
the
you usually
dog,
get
by the
when you're
way.
a Patreon.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. It's
Awesome.
fun. Yeah.
So yeah, we always like promoting those, whether it's the shows, the merch, the Patreon. Like we always try and tell people that the streaming services, the digital downloads, give you little to no revenue. It's all of that stuff that really supports things, and
Yeah.
obviously getting it directly from the artist. So important to do that. If you like what you're hearing, the only way to make sure she keeps coming out with more music, short of winning more songwriter contests, is if the audience members support your efforts through those channels. So. So honored to have you on today. Thank you so much for playing 2 beautiful songs and
Aw,
and
thank
for
you.
sharing your story. I mean, I think it's such a great thing, and I can't wait to see you play, live soon. It's been too long,
Yeah.
but we'll
Thank
definitely
you
be in
guys
touch
so
on
much.
that. Yeah, thank you so much, Brittany.
Yeah.
David,
Philip.
how are you? Brittany is wonderful. Like, just what amazing music. I just
Well, it's interesting. Listen to her talk and listen to her perform. You can hear that same bit of all that personality comes together in the same way.
yes,
And it's really great to see that happen in the artist where they manifest that. And, she obviously is a very good storyteller and it comes across in both capacities. The last song we just heard, Bushwick, lovely, lovely story.
Mhm.
But, all of her stuff has that sort of in it. And as she mentioned, it's Americana, folk, country, songwriter. Like,
Yep.
dig in, enjoy it, check it out, support her.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, this is, again, like just such an honor to have this community here. It's like local to Philadelphia,
Mhm.
Eastern Pennsylvania. There's so much talent here. It's just so cool to kind of shine a light on some of that. And so if you are elsewhere in the country, I hope you kind of tap into this and join for one of her shows. It's such a great evening.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Next Favorite Band. We'd like to sincerely thank Brittany Ann Tranbaugh for joining us, playing music and sharing stories, and just simply bringing us a little bit of a flavor of her musical journey. It's such an inspiring one, and one that I hope everyone enjoyed, and will check out her music. There'll be links in the show notes to her website, Spotify, and YouTube channels, and anything else that we kind of mentioned throughout the show. Please check that all out. Give her a follow, and definitely, like we said, check out her show if you can. It's a great show. And also, the merch is there, and the Patreon. The Patreon's super important. So if that's something you like, what you heard, consider supporting her in that way. As always, our hope is to bring you your next favorite band. If you tuned in tonight because you already knew Brittany, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you liked what you heard, and you're interested in learning more about who else we're bringing on the show that you would like, and subscribe and follow us to bring you your next favorite band in coming weeks. Or you can check out nextfaveband.com. All of our prior interviews are up there. And we are approaching our 100th episode. We're about a month out from that one, maybe less. But that should be exciting. It'll be on March 20th. But definitely subscribe so you can get all the notes about that. And other great things coming up, as you know. No Planet B Jamboree in April, and lots of other great guests in between all of that. So hopefully you enjoy all of that, and we get to see a live show together soon. And now stay tuned for Can't Wait, No Rush by Brittany Ann Tranbaugh.
Send you a message on